Hi, friends. Well, yesterday was a lot, wasn't it? I'm I had a message for you that I wanted to share. When I wrote the Magdalene Path in 2014, I was getting guidance to awaken the power of your feminine soul through and with Mary Magdalene, and that resulted in this book. And through that divine connection, I would go in meditation and I would hear her voice. And that has continued since then. That didn't end with the publishing of the book. And so yesterday I was journaling and a new message came through, as often does, and I wanted to share it with you. So I'm new at doing videos and I feel all nervous and flummoxed about it, in addition to whatever else is going on in the world. But I feel like this is an important message to share. So I wanted to come forward and read it to you. So I wrote this. This morning felt like a cold slap of trauma, discovering that sanity had not prevailed and that crazy chaos was voted into office. It seems hard to believe. And yet apparently that's where we are as a people. Now it's time to grieve first, to acknowledge the discomfort, the tragedy that has surfaced. And then, in the knowledge that things are different, see what wants to emerge differently, what wants to shift. Writing this, I feel the presence and hear the voice of Magdalene in my mind saying, Indeed, beloved, much is reeling in your world. We see and know that. Our experience with the Christ ordeal replicates this and other grieving that we have as souls experienced. Things that should not have happened but did. Things that went wrong unexpectedly. You who are sensitive souls are digesting this, not only this loss, but many others far more ancient and dire from lives and lineages past. Recognize that. You're more than this one life, this one moment. Yet this is the only one that you can process and digest within. You are the only point of attraction here now. There have been many times when you were certain that could never happen, and it did. To the Cathars in France, to the Celts in Britain, the Jews in Europe, priestesses at temples devastated, monks in Tibet, witches and healers killed, books and teachings lost. The Native Americans, blacks on slave ships, outsiders and gypsies too. What's happened now taps all those old wounds and memories coded in your DNA. Time for clearing. But first, dear one, notice. Notice that none of that is happening now. The sun is shining, birds are chirping, life persists. Nothing is different than what your mind makes it to be. Remember, your Rose Temple this weekend, this retreat that I'm offering in the Columbia River Gorge, this November 8th to 10th, this weekend is a perfect moment, as you knew it would be. There may be still one or two more who decide to leap in, but either way, you have the perfect container and sisters for the calling. Enjoy it. For you are not gathering from some idol dress-up fantasy, but for a healing, for the repair of the lost ways of the priestess. Parentheses, regardless whatever titles you may or may not choose, this is what and who you are at your essence, soul. Temple time is returning, as we mentioned so many years ago in the Magdalene Path, and now this is obviously so. So gather yourself for this reclamation. Do you see now that the tagline is far more fitting than you ever thought, huh? Yes, reclaim the divine feminine, the wise woman, healer, priestess, minister, mystic, witch. Gather the forces, abilities, and tools for your magic to emerge, because you have it and you are it. You are divine feminine beings of light. Nothing, no one can take that away. You're here to remove and erase those memories encoded that tell you otherwise. Access your divine wisdom, your sacred calling, soul messages. This is why you are here now. Celebrate this coming together. This sacred soul emergence is a great unveiling of light, disguised as doom and darkness. Lift the veil. Look beneath. There is only love and light and spirit present. All else is fear, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real, and much of it You're being guided into a new way. Allow it. But first, align with the right vibration to allow it through. There are many paths forward. You choose, and then you choose again. We know this feels like an impossible shift for many right now, but truly we say, all is well. Believe it and act as if it is so, for so it is. Blessed be. So, breathing this in, I feel the power of these words, the strength and the clarity of this conviction. And I know that I have lived that. I know that you have lived that. I know that Magdalene has lived that and far worse. So, why not trust it? And after all, what do we have to lose? To hide in a closet? Those times are not here. We move forward with light. And I think that's why this message is so important, that the reason why so many of us are so upset right now is we felt like this could never happen again. And it has. And yet, what has actually changed? Nothing yet. So, how we're feeling inside versus what's going on out in the world doesn't exactly match. So we know that means that we're being triggered, that there's something inside of us that's wanting to be healed and moved in the collective. And that's what we're here for. If that really appeals to you, that's what we'll be doing as part of the Rose Temple, the Awakening the Sisterhood of the Rose Retreat that's happening at the Columbia River Gorge, in the Columbia River Gorge at the historic Balch Hotel, which is a beautiful setting, a far sacred space that's outside of Portland, Oregon. And you can also, if you like this message and you resonate and you want more of this, join us on Patreon. I offer events like this, experiences several times a month. I do a Magdalene Rosary and a Magdalene Prayer and Meditation Circle. The next one is on the 22nd of the month. I also offer something called the Magdalene Mysteries, Mining the Gems of the Magdalene Path, where we talk about